And if you follow and obey and listen to Jesus, you cannot be a Trinitarian because Jesus was never taught that. Rather, he told you to obey and follow God. So how do you end up turning around and worshiping him? The rich young ruler comes to him and he says, "Oh, thou good master." He says, "Why do you call me good? There is none good except God." Jesus is declining to be called good. What? The rich young ruler comes to him and he says, "Oh, thou good master." He says, "Why do you call me good? There is none good except God." Jesus is declining to be called good. What? Jesus is declining to be called good. Jesus is declining to be called good.
Jesus is declining to be called good.
Go into Mark chapter 10, verse 18, which is the conversation Jesus has with the man that approaches him saying, "Good master, what shall I do that I may inherit eternal life?" Jesus' response was, at least according to Marshall, "Why callest thou me good? There is none good, but that is the Father." The term that is used is not Petros or any term for father, but rather theos, and is referring to God. It is simply using the statement of God, not Father. And as we noted, that even Jesus was referred to as the theos in John, as well as in chapter 1, as well as later on when Thomas calls him his kurios, his Lord, and his theos, his God. So at that point, we have to keep that into consideration. But also then note that he's never says, "Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God." He doesn't say, "I'm not good." He doesn't say that anywhere in the statement at all. So what it's being indicated, if you read the context, he's asking the questions of, have you followed these commandments? And then he says, do these, then sell everything you have, give to the poor, and you shall have treasure in heaven. And he was sad at this saying, and he went away grieved, for he had great possessions. He said, "Why call me good? There's none good but one, that is God," because he wanted to make the point that this man was not just simply talking to a mere messenger. He was talking to the one who was the giver and creator of the law, in which he's done trying to address with, "Do you know the commandments? Do not commit adultery." And that as a result of him then giving the thing that would definitely give eternal life to him, to this specific man, is to point out that he had idolatry. He had his idols being his possessions, and when said get rid of them, then he wouldn't. He was an idolater, and he could not recognize that the giver of the law was standing right before him. This verse is so misunderstood by many of my Muslim friends that this is actually a strong affirmation of the deity of Christ.
So anyway, let's go on in this study. The Quran says Jesus was blameless, pure, holy, and faultless, according to the Arabic language.
And we agree
and
with
how
that.
do we know that? Yeah. And how do we know that? Well, here it is on the screen. Surah 19:19. It says, "He said, Nay, I am only a messenger from thy Lord, to announce to thee the gift of a holy son." This is talking about the Virgin Mary, and she's going to have a holy son. And when you look at that Arabic word there, its meaning translates from the Arabic either to blameless, pure, holy, or faultless. But the purest meaning of it, and it depends on your different translators from the Arabic, is blameless.
Yeah, Yusuf Ali says pure, but still
Right.
that's pretty close.
But still, you're getting the idea here. So here's a son that's born. As he's born, he's already holy, or pure, or blameless, or faultless. Okay, we look in the next point. The word here for holy is used in only one other place in the Quran, and that is in Surah 18:74, where Moses says, "Hast thou slain an innocent person?" Notice the word innocent. In context, the word for innocent means blameless, or not committed a crime, end quote. Likewise, the meaning is the same of Jesus in Surah 19:19. Let's go to the Hadith. Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 4, 506 says, narrated Abu Hurairah, The prophet said, when any human being is born, Satan touches him at both sides of the body with his 2 fingers, except Jesus, the son of Mary, whom Satan tried to touch, but failed, for he touched the placenta instead. End quote. So here's the devil. He's able to touch all these people, but he wasn't able to touch Jesus at all. The closest he got was the placenta, but that's still not Jesus. And then we go on in the Al-Bukhari Hadith, volume 4, 641. It says, and you can see it on your screen at home, I heard Allah's apostle saying, there is none born among the offspring of Adam, but Satan touches it. A child therefore cries loudly at the time of birth because of the touch of Satan, except Mary and her child.
Mary and her child.
Right.
Oh.
So the devil, here's why, he's saying the reason children cry when they're born is because they're being touched by the devil. But here, the only exception to this rule is Mary and her child. The child, Jesus, was not touched. By deduction, you can figure he didn't cry either.
Right.
But here, the devil couldn't touch him.
Right. Now some Muslims say that not only was Jesus sinless, but Mary was sinless also, because how could a sinless prophet come from a sinful woman? Like, okay, well, if that's true, then how could a sinless person like Mary come from a sinful mother? So it's like, then her mother have to be sinless, and everybody have to be sinless all the way back to Eve. So that argument that doesn't hold up.
That's right.